What it is, what it do, what up YouTube, it's your boy Raymond Tanner, aka the Captain, back with another video. This video right here is my review of I hope y'all enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button at the end, man. It's just me and my partner talking about the game, man. Shout out to Doctor if you're watching this, brother. I kind of sprung it on him at the last minute, but without any further ado, man, let's get it. I just think like Abby, with everything though, she felt, but you can almost see why she felt justified in what she did. But I wonder would that would have changed anything if
I won't let you take it.
She knew why.
This is our future. Think of all the lives.
Because right. I think she felt a certain type of way anyway.
Because I think it killed Mel.
Jesus Christ.
She did have this out of self-defense. And then she finds out she's pregnant and immediately had regret. So I think if she would have known
she went into the whole thing blind. You look back on it. They made it to where you can't even I don't hate none of the kids.
What the fuck was this all about?
And I thought that too. That was like the perfect opportunity for her to ask those questions to Abby.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't like.
Goddamn.
Is Ellie was on just a pure revenge mission. That's not really Ellie.
That's a lot.
And when she got to the point at the end, I think like I did in one of my videos, it kind of threw me off because when she got to the end, I was just like, what the fuck? She just about to fucking Uber another boat back to fucking back to Wyoming or wherever the fuck. Like, and then she just kind of stopped and was like, I need to deal with this right now because if I let her go again, it's not gonna be a next time. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Abby would murder Ellie, you know what I'm saying? Like in that fight that they had kind of pissed me off because I'm like, am I gonna have to go through all of the stages of every weapon I got this bitch before I can kill her? But Ellie, I think when that one scene was real powerful to me, like when she goes and she sees Joel on the porch and they start talking and I guess she finally came out to him and said, well, I don't necessarily like what you did. You know, like I should have died there at the Fireflies facility or whatever. Like my life would have meant something. And then you think about it as a father and you say, well, but your life means something to me. You know, like whether you want to believe your life means anything or not, I can't allow you to just throw your life away.
I think that's the thing on that part is Ellie looked to him as a father figure, but it was never said. And I feel like, especially in Ellie's journal, you know, with the shit with Dina and stuff like that, she sees it there, but she doesn't see it there because it hasn't been spoken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think she's very much that kind of person. Like Joel should have told her, you know, I love you like a daughter.
But I think that's like one of those unspoken things. Like she knew that.
Yeah.
But it should have. I wonder if what she would have done. I don't know, because like you got to ask yourself. Like if you played the first Last of Us, after that, you ask yourself, what do you think she would have done if he would have told her the truth after everything was, after he got her back from the facility? He told her like, because didn't he tell her like it was a lot of people who had the cure, or it was no cure, or whatever.
There were about a dozen others. They didn't need her.
And I think over time she just kind of was like, well, damn, you know, like if that's the case, then why ain't nobody being cured? Like, where's this cure at? And then it probably did come out later because they never specified how she found out. But
her thing was she kept questioning it because she had to hide it. Well, if there are others, why is she hiding it? And they didn't really he didn't give a good explanation of that part. Like, I get organization-wise why you would want to hide it, you know, because like, let's say, alright, you're probably going to get sent out on the more dangerous routes and shit like that, because you can't get infected by spores. So you can check out that kind of shit without needing a mask. That's a mask that can go to somebody else that would need one. But why she would need to hide it from her best friends and things like that. So she started questioning it. Why she's got to keep up that appearance, even when it's just Joel and Ellie. Why she still had to wear the mask, you know? So he was conditioning her to act normal and to hide the thing that made her different. Which, if you think about it with the whole sexuality stuff and things like that, if that even comes into play, because it's a completely different society in there. You know, I mean, these people didn't grow up with any stigmas or anything like that. Probably not. But her having to hide something that's a part of her,
You go on.
and then also being different in a few other different ways, that probably got to her.
The world that they live in, like you said, the world they live in is just it's a totally different place.
What we were talking-
Like, I don't understand that part either, because with her not telling anybody, when I first played, I'm like, well, maybe he don't want nobody to know because he doesn't want nobody just to come at her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could be a target.
He don't want her to be a target, so he don't want nobody to come at her and just try to get her. So he wanted to hide it. But I think he was actually hiding it from himself. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just more things he doesn't have to explain to people or to her.
Well, yeah, from what we were seeing, it wasn't until what was it? I want to say in the first scene, very first scene of the part 2. He's telling Tommy the story, and I think that's what 3 years before this shit goes down. So he probably, from the Firefly facility where he saved Ellie and went back to that settlement, it had been about a year. So he probably only explained shit after they had a real falling out.
To Tommy, yeah, because he probably want to know what happened, you know. But
Yeah.
but the shit, like, I wonder in that, because they never show what happened in that conversation between. I mean, because you come into the room and it's Abby beating Joe. Like, Joe is already done for at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder what the fuck was they talking about the whole time when you didn't see them in the room together. You know what I'm saying? Because that's fucked up. Like, I mean, like, cause she didn't just kill him right away.
So even if it did happen like instantaneously, I mean, there was the moment where he must have told those people to go and watch guard, and the time for him to walk away. So there's, I would say, maybe about a minute or two of shit that we didn't see.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I think with this game right here, it did a good job with. Like, it definitely made you question your emotions or whatever. Like, it was one thing inside of my. I don't know if that was when I was with y'all the other night, or it's almost like, God forbid the reference, but like Twilight, when you was either Jacob's fan or you was either Edward fan or whatever. Like, it made you question, like, why.
I get what you're saying. You're either ally of one, and that means you have to be the enemy of the other.
Yeah, but in this game, it did such a good job, because if you think about it, let's say if they would have kept the whole game Ellie related, you know what I'm saying? You would have hated Abby the whole time, because you would have never knew her story. But because they forced you to play with Abby and go through the things that Abby did, it made you see both sides of the story. So, like, and it kind of made me fight with myself in a way, because it was the one scene where I hated them for doing it. Like, when you was in the theater and then you had Ellie up against the wall and you was choking her, like you was about to kill her. And as a person, I just was like, should I stop pushing square because I don't want Ellie to die? Right. Even though I knew that she wouldn't die, but it was just like, this is a character that I'm with, you know what I'm saying?
It would have been amazing to where, you know, even at least at the very end, you could choose what you were gonna do.
And I thought that's the way they were going.
Let's say if you chose, like, let's say there was a weapon on the ground right before Abby gets in the boat. And if you chose to pick it up, then you had that fight sequence and still have the same ending, still have that realization. But
Oh, you saying to choose the side that you wanted to be on.
yeah, but like let's say if you don't pick it up, you choose not to do anything, you have that immediate flashback of Joel, and then you immediately come to that realization. You know, that kind of thing. That it would have been cool to see, even if it was the same outcome. They gave you a choice of fighting or not.
Because when she saw that flashback of Joel, in my mind, I think Joel, I think in his death, he understood why she did what she did. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a person, you can't think, like, when you find out why she came back to do what she did, like, you can't, he couldn't have been mad at Abby for that, because he would have did the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then did he, you have the question, did he have to kill everybody in that facility at the time? But I think if he wouldn't have killed everybody, they would have tried to come back and get that girl.
I think I remember that you didn't have to kill all the doctors, but you did have to kill Abby's dad, the one with the knife. And then I think after you did that, because he was going to attack you, then everybody else backed up and was like, just let him go. Actually, some of them ran. I think that's what I remember. You didn't have to gun everybody down.
It's like he took everybody in the whole facility out. Like, they wasn't prepared for that.
Oh, yeah.
But then you feel sorry for this little girl who rushes down there and sees her dad lying down in a pool of blood. And the only thing that fuels you with this whole thing is the reason why she joined the militia or whatever, the Wolves, which is a militia organization, is because she wants to train to be able to kill Joel. And then after all of that, they
didn't show when she was a Firefly.
I think she was like, after all of that, I think the Fireflies fell apart after what happened in Wyoming or whatever, when she was at the facility, because I just think she meant she was a Firefly by name because her dad was a Firefly.
Okay.
That's kind of what I took from it.
So I'm like, she got pretty, I mean, it seems like she had some sort of control or some sort of rank or something, some sort of authority within the Wolf organization.
Maybe because her daddy was ahead of the Firefly, or maybe she worked her way up. Because you got to remember, Owen was there too. He was a kid.
Yeah, but I was hearing everybody else like saying how, she's a ruthless killer, she's got power. So I think that's how she rose up on her own.
She was probably a soldier that didn't ask questions. She just did what she was told.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I think she started questioning the morality of things with that with those two kids or whatever. Like, that shocked me when she went back to get the two kids. I was just like, I can't believe she finna go all the way back to go get those two kids. And then
so looking back on that, because that was a flashback she had when she was asleep. She ran through the hospital, got into the OR, and saw the kids. Remember, Ellie was having the same type of flashback where she would go down to the basement and find Joel.
Yeah.
And I forgot what happened the second time they had that flashback. But she definitely kept seeing Joel, so she felt like she had to do something. And you know what? Those flashbacks, I think it's that shows that's the point the character has to do something that seems like out of their ordinary. Because Ellie, we had already seen her become comfortable, you know, have her family and all that at this farmhouse. And then, even before Tommy was there, she had this, you know, these flashbacks
of Joel.
Yeah, and apparently she said it'd been a while since we had any excitement. So it's been a while, or Dina said that. So they started getting worse, and then all of a sudden Tommy's there the next day. So I think they're using those flashbacks to show that they're gonna have to take some action and do something different than they normally would.
I think she was having the flashbacks personally because in her mind it was unfinished. You know, like the girl that killed Joe was out there, was dead. I mean, was alive. So she was uneasy with what was going on because she felt like I just let this person get away with it, and she was having flashbacks to Joel like,
Is Joel up?
I need to go do something because like I'm never gonna shake these flashbacks until I'm having these flashbacks because I didn't settle up what she did to us. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until I think she went to Abby and she had that flashback of Joel sitting on the porch. I think at that time she probably felt like
Yes.
Joel wouldn't have wanted that. You know what I'm saying? Like Joel wouldn't have wanted. He wouldn't have wanted me to go after this person like this and kill him because he's in the end is responsible for everything that's happening right now. But like you said though, Ellie was so comfortable in her life she thought she could just forget, you know what I'm saying, about what happened. She removed herself away from her organization. She had a family, but then she had to make that choice, you know, and it wasn't until I think she had to see Abby again to do whatever in order just to put it to bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't want to kill her. I never think, I don't, she wanted to kill her because she thought that was the right thing to do. But I think when she was about to kill her, she realized that what is killing her gonna do? You know what I'm saying? It's just a circle of death.
It's a crazy mirror effect.
And then what was she gonna do? Kill the little boy too? You know, if she would have killed Abby, I'm saying she had a knife to the little boy because she said, "You're gonna fight me."
Yeah.
Because Abby was prepared to die at that point, I believe. Like, and she said, "I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna fight you." And she said, "Why?" She said, "No, you will fight me," because she didn't just want to kill somebody that was helpless. It's the same as a normal person couldn't just walk up to somebody and punch him in the face. But if somebody shoved you and fueled you, you more likely to punch him.
Yeah, she had to justify it.
Because if she would have just stabbed Abby while she was just sitting there, it wouldn't have been a noble death to her, because I want you to fight for your life the way Joel fought for his life. So that way I can feel justified. But, like I said, had she would have killed Abby right there without Abby fight and left Levi Lev or whatever, or Lily Lev or whatever alive, Lev would have grew up and tried to kill Ellie. That would have been the last of us three right there.
Maybe, yeah.
Because that boy loved that woman like a sister. That was the replacement to his sister and his mother. He wasn't just gonna let it go. He was a warrior anyway. So I don't think Ellie was prepared to kill a little boy. She knew. I don't think, even if she would have said, I don't think Ellie is that type of person. Even if Abby would have been like, "I'm still not gonna fight you," you still think she would have killed the little boy?
For me, please.
Right.
I don't feel that was the case.
No, she provoked her to justify killing her, especially after seeing her like that.
Last night.
That scene with the village too was powerful too. Like, at that point where she went back to go get Lev and Maylene, I'm gonna call her. She when she ran through that village and they started killing their own people, at that point she knew it wasn't no going back for either of them.
Thank you, Sam.
They killed everybody in the village, but that one scene got to me too, because I thought the little girl was dead, and then she takes the little girl and she shoots her. I mean, no, the little girl with her last ounce of strength, she shoots the people around her, and they just lit into the little girl. Bow, 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 bow.
Sure.
I'm like, damn, like they just killing everybody.
I saw this meme earlier. I sent it to the group just now. Had Ellie ended things this way?
When you go out, I want you to.
Oh man,
Joel. Those boys have never fought.
it would have been pretty fucking great.
But and overall though, I didn't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with the ending. Like, I haven't.
No, yeah.
I think like I would go back and watch some of the things that people say about the game. I know a lot of popular YouTubers. I seen some of their stuff where Angry Joe, Boogie, and all them, and I just read the little the little title they had on there, The Last of Us 2, such a terrible game, or whatever. Like, I think those are bandwagon people.
Understand? Well, that's the thing. People, a lot of them don't understand about, or they may not be thinking about it as The Last of Us as its own game and not a video game. You know, it's like you can't really compare this to a whole lot of other things, and it's not really fair to compare it to the first game because it's a completely different experience. The first game, you know, was about, you know, Joel reclaiming his humanity, and, you know, kind of like a good, heartwarming kind of story. You know, that whole paradox. You know, do you save the one you love, or do you let them die to potentially save others? You know, that kind of thing, and everybody could relate to that. But then when you get into here, this is just such a dark and bleak story, and it's told in a complicated way. It's not super linear. It makes you think, you know, makes you feel shit. And I think a lot of people just looked at it more as a video game, like, oh, the story's all over the place, and
it wasn't though. Think about something. If it's definitely a puzzle piece, but it all comes together in a beautiful way. But had the story not been told this way, what the fuck was this game gonna be about? Was this gonna be about going around killing clickers and shit and saving a village or your community or whatever? No. Who would have wanted to play that game? I wouldn't have. Like, this was a game that made you feel things. Like, when was the last time you could say you played a game that made you have a conversation about how you felt?
The first Last of Us.
The first Last of Us. Because I remember going back to work then and being like, it's this guy at my job named Mirhad or whatever. And he never had a PlayStation. I told him about the last. He was like, what? So he went to go buy a PlayStation. Man, every day he came in to work, he was telling me about a part in the game. But at the end, when he made that fucking decision, he was like, what would you would have done, man? What would you would have done? Would you would have sacrificed your child? Now me, people think I'm cruel for saying that. Like, I can't. That decision for me, it would have been a tough one, but I think I would have done it. Because what type of world would you want your kid to live in like that?
Yeah, but I think that might be part of the problem. People are putting themselves in it, and it's not about that. It's about making you feel something as you're that character. So with Joel, I completely understand why Joel made that decision and did not hesitate, because he lost Sarah.
Had he would have not lost his daughter in The Last of Us 1, his decision may have been different.
Yeah, this may have been a job to him, especially if he didn't lose Tess. You know, Tess over this too. He would have been like, oh, you know, it would have been a job. But because it was him alone, and he was developing that relationship with her.
Forever, how many months that went on, he bonded with that child. You know what I'm saying? And how could you not, as a human being, distinguish? That's why he made the decisions he made, because that Ellie reminded him of his daughter, or what his daughter could have been. Because if you think about it, he was with Ellie more than he was with his daughter, probably.
Yeah, because it looked like he was a contract worker, you know, and he looked like he was a young guy, and he had a decent house. And in Austin, it's fucking expensive to live there, man. You know, he lived just outside of Austin. But no, I mean that's why, like, I'm glad they didn't make it a choice in the first one, and you just kind of had to see Joel make that decision and play through it.
Games that you got to make choices in are not very good games, because it's cool to be able to make that choice, but if they was to make a second one like they did, one of those choices would have been canon and one of them wouldn't have been. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no matter what choice you made, it was still going to be the choice they wanted it to be anyway. So why not go with the choice?
Originally in Joel's death scene, Troy Baker was talking about this. He's the voice of Joel.
Morning.
And, well, he is Joel, because he does a motion capture too. He was saying that originally, Neil Druckmann wanted him to be on the ground, you know, barely being able to crack his eyes open, and, you know, look at Ellie and call out Sarah. But Troy Baker had a problem with that. He's like, I don't think you should be saying anything.
Look who's here.
I think you should be there. You should see the light leave him.
The look in his eyes when he was just laying there, he didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
Because like if I looked in his face when I seen before she cracked him with that golf club, it was just like in his eyes he probably was saying, "I'm sorry."
Well, but even then, in all the flashbacks you see, there's a lot that he wants to say, but doesn't.
Because she won't allow him to.
Part of it is that, but also is just the fact that they can convey that you can see he has things to say, but he's being careful about it because he doesn't want to lose her.
Even, and you're right, even the part on the when they were standing on the porch talking, and then she said, "I want to have a relationship with you. I want to try." And then he looks at he doesn't even look at her. He's like holding back his tears, but he like, "I would like that."
Yeah, it's like right there where he said, you know, if I had, you know, if God let him, you know, put him in that situation again, or put him back there, he'd do it again.
He could have easily told her what she wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I would have asked you, I would have made the decision, your decision, but he did what anybody in his situation would have done. And now knowing everything happened, and he's still saying, I would still make that decision again, of course.
Well, but even then, like, I love how they were able to see both sides. We're able to see the hidden stuff, the omniscient stuff. But these characters don't play as if they know. They play like they were there at a different time, different place, because they were. So like when Marlene's talking to Abby's dad about what's going on, and they'd have to move on the surgery right now. And she's like, let me tell Joel, he deserves to know. You know, had she not done that, had they not moved into surgery right away, you know, had Joel had the opportunity to talk to Ellie before the surgery, shit would have gone probably way different.
But Marlene, I think she did the right thing, because
oh yeah,
he would have. That would have been it would have been the Joel show, because after that he would have went back, where's Ellie, and he would have killed everybody, just because, you know what I'm saying, they didn't tell him. Then where would have went?
Yeah.
But Abby, but Joel, I think Joel and Abby is alike, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of ways. They both fueled by the people they love. So I mean, Abby, I totally understand why she did what she did. I get it, you know what I'm saying. And then you go through there, like I can't wait for my videos to come out, man. Like if you choose to watch them or not, because I think that was the most crucialest thing you could do in a game like this, is play on your first time. It's not like you playing it like these fake YouTubers where you play it and then it's like, I'm gonna go back and just react because I know what's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying. It was times in my videos where I couldn't even talk, you know what I'm saying, because I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now, you know what I'm saying. Like when it was a part where Abby came in and she was like, you killed my friends, and I'm talking like I'm like, fuck, you killed my friends too. Like it was tit for tat. Like everything she said I did to her, we did it to each other. You know what I'm saying? My friend was pregnant when she died. Shit, my friend was, you about to kill my friend and she pregnant too. Had Lev wouldn't have been there, fucking Mel would have been. What was that girl? Dina would have been out of there.
Oh yeah,
Dina would have been gone. It wouldn't have been no saving Dina. Like she was finna kill her, because all she kept at that point when she had that knife to Dina's throat, she probably was thinking like, oh, it's Mel. And when she said she was pregnant, I was thinking like, that's the wrong thing you can tell this bitch right now, because you just killed my pregnant friend. You know what I'm saying?
Remember her face, and she was like, good. And then put the knife to. Oh fuck, man, that's some brutal shit.
I was just like, no, don't do it. And then Lev was like, yeah, don't do it. But I didn't.
In the dark.
Lev was one of those characters where you, like in the first Last of Us, how Joel was the killer, but Ellie was like, if you thought about Joel like a boat, Ellie was the anchor that kept Joel together. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And in this game,
Like this. We're gonna be.
Lev was the anchor that kept Abby down. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of stuff probably would have went different if it wasn't. To me, her saving those kids' lives changed her life dramatically because she was a hardened soldier. She had no reason to do any of this. Aside from kill Joel, she could have killed Joel.
What? No.
Went back to her army camp. Ellie would have never touched her.
Bill, thank you.
Not with 3 people. I don't give a fuck how badass you are. She would have smoked Ellie, all her little friends, and then it would have been over. But because she met those 2 kids, it left her vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have the support of her group anymore. It was the same type of situation where Ellie had 2 or 3 people around her.
Abby.
Same thing for Abby. She had 2 or 3 people around her, maybe if that. Because for the most time you played with Abby, you was alone until you met those kids. I mean, you had Owen and shit, but Owen wasn't around for everything.
Work my foot up your ass.
Abby.
But when they killed Owen, that was like, before when Ellie killed those 2 people, in your mind you thought, oh, they ain't nobodies. They nobodies. They was just at the place. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't emotionally attach yourself to those characters because you didn't care.
Yeah, even in the beginning, like we see the dialogue between Owen and Abby, and it's
Woman, man.
Yeah, it is. Well, no, but like when they did have their names, Owen was just very kind of bland.
Yeah, you couldn't care about. He could have just been a companion.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, it's cold out here." It's like in this way, he's like, "No, you got to see this now." Just blink, like a terrible voice actor. But I see the reason why they made him like that at first.
Because they probably didn't want you to have no emotional ties, no emotion, no nothing.
Yeah, they didn't want you knowing, about those characters until you played Abby. Then you see, oh shit, they're not just some fucking NPC.
Because I think they needed to do that. Because the way, if you look deep and stuff, the way that, like I said, you didn't even know who these people. Like I cared about Owen later. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt bad for Owen, especially at the one scene where Owen he tries to I guess he tries to have some type of relationship with Abby inside the aquarium or whatever. And she said she couldn't because she knew how he felt about leaving and staying. You know what I'm saying? Like she was always interested in going back to kill Joel. Always. But he didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to leave. I think he only stayed because of Mel and Abby. And then you look at that one scene when she show up there and then she has that bow and arrow game he had.
That's the only reason he went.
Okay.
Was because Abby wanted it. He obviously loves Abby. But he's trying to, he loves Mel to an extent too. And that was Mel's teacher and mentor. So he had to go for one or both of them.
He was gonna leave Mel, I think, because I think all he wanted to do was have that type of relationship with Abby, but she never allowed him to. I even question was that the first time she ever had sex? Like you don't know. If she told him no, or maybe she told him no because she knew it meant more to him than just sex. You know what I'm saying? Like she wasn't ready to give in to him in that way at that time. But I think Owen was a big part of her behaving the way that she did. Mel was. Fucking the Mexican guy, I don't know his name. When he got killed, that shit right there was just Manny got fucking blasted, man. Like I didn't see Manny dying.
Manny died kind of the same fucking way Jesse died.
Yeah, he got fucking 2-second peak bow. But overall, though, I think with the game, I'll give it out of 10. The Last of Us 1 is still one of my favorite games. Compared to Last of Us 1, I think it's on par with The Last of Us 1 if you take out all of the shit that people are saying about the game. I give it about...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I give it a 10. I really enjoyed the game. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna go with in between scores. I would give it a 10. I mean, I have some wants and some slight issues with it, but looking at it for what it is, everything was deliberate. Everything they did. There's no plot holes. There's no fuck ups in the story. No, I mean, you're Neil fucking Druckmann, dude. I mean, everything he does is deliberate.
And you don't think a director like that, or when they designed this game, they didn't look at the story like, well, are we leaving anything up for chance? If anything, I thought they should have ended it at a lot of places where they should have ended it. Like, when I was talking to Flo, and it was like, just when you think the game about the end, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's a 10 for me, and I agree with everything they did with the story. I like the direction they went in with the characters. I like the development that you had to go through with the characters. Everybody that died, I think, died for a reason, because if...
That's the thing a lot of people don't realize. Like, okay, what was the last AAA title that came out before this? I mean, or any huge game, like any fucking Assassin's Creed, or any other game that's ever come out. What other game besides The Last of Us has actually made you feel shit?
No game.
Like the first one, I mean, people fucking cried, they loved it, and everything. This one, if there's this much hate around the story made you feel some shit, man. It's not because it's put together crappy, it's because you don't agree with it, but you don't have to.
No, it's like what Vince McMahon saying wrestling.
Looking at.
Getting booed is the same thing as getting cheered.
Yeah.
You boo somebody because they made you feel a certain type of way. You cheer them, why? Because they made you feel a certain type of way. So the hate that this game is getting, guess what? You had to play it and buy the game to feel some type of hate. You bought the game because you remember how the first Last of Us made you feel. And now you're going to remember this game because this Last of Us made you feel a certain type of way. I don't think Naughty Dog should feel any type of way about the people who hate the game. I think those people, in my opinion, is narrow-minded about because they love a character so much that they don't want to let him go. But guess what?
Yeah.
We all fucking die. Like, in the game of life, everybody dies. You don't live forever.
Yeah, but what else could make Ellie go on this journey of revenge other than Joel dying? If Tommy died, if, you know, anybody else, I don't think she definitely wouldn't have felt this wrong. Because it was Joel, and because she saw it right in front of her. That's why it was so strong.
If Tommy would have died, then everybody would have got The Last of Us they wanted. Because it would have been Ellie and Joel going on a rampage to go get Abby. It would have been a cliche story. It would have been a cliche story. It would have been just like The Last of Us 1. And then guess what? You had people like, man, this was just like The Last of Us 1. Joel should have died. So I mean, it's never no pleasing anybody 100% of the time about anything. It was a great game. I loved it, and I wouldn't change anything about it. I wouldn't change nothing. I say the people who don't agree with me should go play it again with an open mind, so you can see what you're missing out on because your mind is closed.
There's a lot of people haven't even played through the first playthrough.
Because when Joel died, it was just like, well, I'm turning it off.
Not only that, but when they saw that you had to play as Abby, they were like, "Nope, I'm not doing that."
Nah, I was more curious about where she was going.
But yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, did you see the picture I sent?
Nah, I'm gonna look at it. But 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and that's what it is, man. Like, I agree with it. I totally fucks with it. Yo, so that was my review / what I think about the game with The Last of Us. Like I said in the video, man, that this game is a 10 for me, man. Like I said, it's a 10. I enjoyed it. It's all in the video. How I feel about the game. I really enjoyed the game. I look forward to constructive criticism, good or bad, about my opinions on the game. Always welcome. You can leave them in the comments below. Like I said too, though, look out for my videos, man. The first video of my playthrough explaining on why I feel the way I do about this game actually drops, like I said, tomorrow at 3:00 p.m. My time. I live in Chicago. Well, I'm from Chicago, but it's Chicago time. That's what everybody knows. So 3:00 Chicago time. And I got a video coming out every other day after that. Recording this has been a challenge because there's so many parts. So I think what I'm gonna do is the first couple of videos every other day. As I get toward the end, I'm gonna start releasing 3 videos at a time so I can get it out to you guys quicker. For those that want to rock with the videos rather. So thank you guys for watching, man. If you stuck around to the end of this video, man, bless you anyway. If you didn't watch it all, but if you hear this part, it's a blessing, because that means you stuck around to the end. So with that being said, man, y'all have a good night, good morning, good evening, whenever you're watching this video, man. So peace out.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.